Namaste, everybody. Welcome to today's live webcast and worldwide meditation. My name is Julia Desmond. I am a spiritual teacher, meditation teacher, and author located in the Aspen area of Colorado. I'm just going to make sure, Namaste, everybody, that my audio and video is up, and it looks like it is. So fabulous. Good. Live stream's working. So again, my name is Julia Desmond. I'm located in the Aspen area of Colorado. I offer these live stream worldwide meditations and oneness meditations when I'm not traveling. But this is actually my last in a 3-week series because I head to India in a few weeks and I have a bunch of live events prior. So I will be back online later this fall, maybe actually not till November. You can access all of my archived Awaken Conversations on my live stream channel, which you're all on right now. So you can access the archived information. So please start posting your hellos and where you're from. I do like to connect with each and every one of you and seeing your names pop up, but especially what part of USA and the world that you're from. If you're from USA, your city and state would be great. If you're from another country, please let us know your city and country as well. And you can start posting your questions on awakening and this oneness phenomenon below the video. I see some of you have already posted that in the white box. That is much easier for me to access. So please don't post the questions in the black box. Post it in the white box below the video. And this whole hour is going to be really energized, very powerful with Diksha and oneness consciousness. And it's all designed to shift you into a higher state, to shift you through awakening, transformation, and full realization. But before I get started, I have some great announcements to make. We just finished an epic weekend at Needle Rock Meditation and Wellness Center. Please check out the pictures on my personal Facebook page. This property is so amazing. It's one of the 108 Golden Age cities around the world, part of the oneness lineage. This is only the second one in the world that has been established and the first one in North America. So it's beautiful. Me and my husband and my mom, Sandy, are the co-founders of this big project for humanity, and we are very excited about it. Our next big weekend at Needle Rock is October 23rd to the 25th. We'll include so many processes to help you access higher states of consciousness, awakening, transformation, and really increasing your bond with your divine. So again, I'll be posting things on my website, juliadesmond.com, as well as my personal Facebook page. So I'll be posting the link in the next couple days. So please join us. It's going to be a fabulous fall weekend of awakening at Needle Rock. Bring your friends and family too. It's going to be gorgeous out there. And secondly, I am facilitating a 2-day meditation and oneness workshop in the Aspen area, September 12th and 13th, right before I head to India. So this is our last 2-day workshop we'll be offering for a while. So come join us. This will help you learn how to meditate. It will help to bring the shift of awakening and transformation, and it will also initiate you and train you as a Diksha giver so that you can then help others awaken. So the format of my Awaken Conversations is that I'll give a teaching. And today's teaching and topic is accessing your divine destiny here and now. So I'll just speak about that for about 10 minutes, and then I'll be able to answer your questions, which you post in the chat room. If you are trying to post a question or your name and you're finding that you can't, it's because you need to sign up for a live stream account. And you just do that online, and it's free. But you do need to register with Livestream before you can start posting questions. But please post questions. It makes for a very lively Awaken conversation. These Awaken Conversations are very informative. They're highly energized with Diksha, and it also aligns us all within oneness consciousness. Everybody's brains will be syncing up. because of the shifts that I've received on my own awakening journey. And it's like a tuning fork. So when we all sit, even on live stream through time and space all around the world, even in an archived live stream event, we're all tuning up into a higher state of consciousness. This is the value of awakening and moving into a higher state of consciousness. And then I'll lead a short meditation to prepare our bodies for the Awakened Diksha. I invite all Awakened Diksha givers online as well to also give Awakened Diksha. And then I will shift over to the Oneness Meditation. The Oneness Meditation comes out of the Oneness Meditator, which is me, and it will come through my gaze and my presence. It's a 21-minute, very powerful transfer of divine energies that are designed to shift a person through awakening, transformation, and God realization. The Oneness Meditation is not recorded, so if you are watching on an archived webcast, the Oneness Meditation will not be a part of that. So we'll end the live stream at the Awakened Diksha aspect. So wonderful. It looks like a lot of you have been signing in from all over the world. Thank you for telling me where you're from. It's fabulous. And I love to see all the Denver people and Colorado people as well. Go Colorado. We love Colorado. Oneness in Colorado rocks. So come on out and visit us at the Colorado Golden Age Ranch. We have officially named it Needle Rock Meditation and Wellness Center, and it's in Crawford, Colorado. But all access, and you can find me on Facebook and also on my website, juliadesmond.com. So the topic today is accessing your divine destiny here and now. And so as we're journeying along in this very powerful time in mankind's shift in consciousness as a species, this evolution of higher consciousness, we all have an opportunity to step up and say yes, and to step in our divine destiny. This is an aspect of the conscious awakening journey, to consciously step into our divine destiny. And so I know the concept is, oh, well, the divine is always running through me, so whatever I do, it's divinely led. That's a concept, and that's mind-driven. So this whole awakening journey is to become awakened, which declutches you from the mind. And it also puts you in deep touch with your divine presence. There are actual shifts that have to happen. Shifts in the brain, shifts in consciousness, openings, shifts in your nadis, your chakras. The activation of the kundalini has to happen. There are 6 energy bodies, the koshas. These all have to be healed and activated. And so there's a lot that's going on. And fortunately, the tools of Diksha and the Oneness Meditation and Oneness are all activating all these various aspects of a person into awakening and into higher states of consciousness. But a very powerful aspect of this is to also get walking within your divine destiny. And so we can pray for this today. This will be today's intention on the live stream for the Diksha and the Oneness Meditation. Some of you already know perhaps what your divine destiny is. That's fabulous. Some of you might already be living it and you want extra juice and power to walk forward. Of course, we will ask for that growth in consciousness to help us shift into our divine destiny. Some of you might need clarity. Great, we'll pray for that as well. And some of you may not even have stepped into your destiny yet, and that's fabulous. So wherever you are, please know this is a journey. This isn't a destination, but it does take us to say yes, to show up and say, yes, I want to be a vehicle of divine grace. And I'm asking for the shifts to happen, shifts in the brain to access this divine consciousness. And so it's important to remember to keep receiving the Diksha, because the more Diksha we're receiving in the brain, the more access we have to divine consciousness. The Diksha or the Oneness blessing is literally punching a hole in the mind so that God can flow through. So before awakening, a person resides in the mind very powerfully. You can see this in your own journey. The mind controls you. The mind brings fear, doubts, worry. It's a mind-driven life, and you can actually tell when people are mind-driven. You know, you go, if they're teaching a class or a yoga class and you go to them and they're completely mind-driven, you can feel it. They're not coming from their heart. And so the next step is to become awakened, to shift out of the mind, to become declutched or disidentified with the mind. This is what awakening brings. But also the flowering of the heart. So again, these aren't concepts. We can't will ourselves into awakening and into our heart flowering. It's a shift in consciousness. And I always want to make this clarity, because if we already could have shifted ourselves, we already all would have done it. And so this is the humility on this awakening journey, to say, no, I'm not God realized. You know, I'm not fully realized. So please, I want the shift. Or for those of you who haven't received awakening yet, to just honor it and say, I want to receive that shift. Or maybe your heart hasn't flowered yet, and you simply say, oh, I would love to have my heart flowered, and go through the transformation process. See, this awakening journey, there's nothing personal with this. When we're talking about a high state of consciousness or a low state, there's absolutely nothing personal. It will inflame the ego, of course, when hearing, oh, you're not in a high state because you're not awakened. That's the self. And the self, of course, will put up defenses and stories and saying, oh, I'm already this or that. That's spiritual ego. So this oneness journey is way beyond that. And we first have to start with where we are, and we have to be very integrated and come from inner authenticity and integrity. So now when we're talking about stepping into our divine destiny, how is that going to flow through us? And I'm using the word divine. Please use your own word for source if you feel better with that. Some people use the word God. So I use the word divine. That's just my language that I use. So to ask in this live stream and the Diksha and the oneness meditation to really step into divine destiny, it's actually an honor to do that, to come to this planet at this time and to walk with the divine flowing through you. And having the divine flow through you in, you know, whatever your career or occupation is, or if you're raising a family, you know, if you're a member in society, if you're into philanthropy, you know, a doctor or a lawyer. So the whole point is to have the divine flow through you, to carry you onto your destiny very powerfully. Your journey will be very accelerated when you do this. When you say, yes, I want to step into this. It's because mankind and the planet needs people like you. As many people awakened and stabilized and having their heart flower, but also walking their divine destiny. Look around. Look what's happening to the planet on a daily basis. So what is the antidote to that? And I'm saying, you know, some of the hard things that are happening on the planet right now. But what is the antidote? One person does make a difference. So when one person becomes awakened and their heart flowers and they've gone through the transformation process, and then take it a step further where they're really living their divine destiny with helping others or helping others awaken or starting spiritual communities, you name it, you know, it's your destiny, but the divine is flowing through you. And the mind cannot really have a concept as to what your true divine destiny is. Of course, you can have inklings and this and that, but when you're really in your divine destiny and you look back maybe 10 years ago, did your mind think this up? Well, no, it's because God is flowing through you, or source is flowing through you and putting you on your journey. So I can just speak from my own experience and my own walking my divine destiny. I was grateful to step into that 9 years ago when oneness came into my life very powerfully and shifted me. And all I wanted to do since that point was help others awaken And now we've founded a Golden Age city in Colorado. So when I even look back to, 10 years ago, could I have dreamed up all of this? I'm definitely living an incredible life because the divine is flowing through me so powerfully. And when a person is in that flow with the divine, everything lines up very powerfully. And you are busy. You are active. You're taking action. You're in great harmony with the universe and the universal laws and humanity as you're journeying on this conscious awakening journey. It is a journey. You're constantly moving forward and walking forward in your divine destiny. And so, yes, wherever we are, we move forward today. And so we might need abundance to come into our life. Fabulous. We want growth in abundance consciousness. Ask for that today. If you already know what you want to give back to mankind, great. See what the blockages are. So when we're praying today or asking for the intention, see what might be blocking you. It could be abundance, something in your career. It could be health. We need to bring our health and wellness back into balance as well. It could be relationships. These are the 4 pillars of life: spirituality, wealth, health, and relationships. And they all need to be brought into balance and accessed into a higher state. And so if one of them's out of balance, we just need to look and ask for growth in consciousness to bring it back into balance. Then we can move forward, and then we're operating from a very integrated place. So what the planet needs now, as I've talked about the portal 2015 to 2018, is highly grounded individuals, highly balanced in all these pillars of life, people awakened and transformed and residing in a very high state of consciousness, and also deeply in touch with their divine and living out their divine destiny. And so as mankind is moving through this portal, as I spoke about a few weeks ago, the next 3 years are very powerful for mankind and are actually the tipping point for the transformation of mankind. So my advice is, or my mentoring is, take your life seriously, meaning take your spiritual development seriously. It's an inner journey. This inner state of awakening is an inner journey. So it's an ongoing journey, and we put effort in action, and the divine comes in and shifts us. That's what's very important to remember. In the external world, we live our life. We're being balanced with our families and our friends and our spouses and our businesses and our communities. It's about bringing balance, but definitely take yourself seriously because we're so powerful and we need clarity and vision for our own lives, but also for the planet at large, moving into this great golden age of enlightenment. And this is what we're here to do. I'm an awakener, and I'm here to help people awaken very powerfully and efficiently to move through the awakening process, to then really help others around you in whatever capacity is your passion. It could be to help others awaken. That's so amazing. We need a lot of those on the planet right now. But whatever your passion is, helping out others, please do that. And step into this field of grace that's so gifted through this oneness phenomenon. And so when we are setting our intentions today, set your own prayer for your life, for your vision. And again, if you simply need clarity, ask for that. And your shifts will come. And then please report back to me and let us know. I love to hear when your shifts of consciousness happen, of course. This is why I do this. So anyways, I will go to the bottom of the white box and start to access the questions there. I have about 10 or 15 minutes to answer questions. Please post questions. It makes for a very lively, awakened conversation. Okay, so great. I see a bunch of questions in the white box. Thank you for posting there. So the first question is from Frederick Gongquist. Namaste, Frederick. Nice to see you online. Has asked, What is the importance of focusing on and practicing self-compassion and compassion for others on our spiritual path and awakening? Well, please remember, we can't practice compassion, meaning we can't practice our way into the state of compassion. This is where oneness is very powerful, because we can only see where we lack compassion. Compassion is a state of consciousness, and I'm going to describe the true definition of what compassion is. True compassion is where you experience the other, meaning you're having an interaction with your partner, and you might be getting into a fight, or they might be blaming you for something, let's just say. True compassion is experiencing the other. What are they going through right now? And it's a natural state of being when you have accessed that higher state of consciousness. You cannot practice experiencing the other. It takes a shift in consciousness. And so true compassion is a high state of consciousness, and it takes a shift. So I know some of you may already be experiencing true compassion. This is experiencing oneness with others. This is nothing to be practiced. In fact, when people are trying to practice something, that is a mind-generated concept, and it doesn't actually work. So in the West, people might think compassion is, helping out others, going and offering service to others, or sacrificing themselves for others. So when you think of compassion, think of your own definition and see what is there. If you think compassion is residing in helping others or sacrificing yourself, that again is a self-directed activity. So oneness is the next level up, this oneness consciousness. It's shifting. It's becoming declutched from the self. So again, true compassion is a state, and it's where you're actually experiencing the other, and you're experiencing their emotions and their pain that they've gone through, or joy. It's whatever is going on with the other. That's where true compassion is, and it happens in the heart, and it's a state of consciousness. So within the oneness teachings, all we can simply see is where we lack compassion. We don't have this quality. It takes integrity to say that. And then you ask for the shift. So the actual shift of compassion is very important, because it's very hard to harm another when you're experiencing the other in oneness, consciousness. And so today on the live stream, you can ask for that quality of compassion. Compassion is a quality, and it's a divine quality. So within oneness, all we can simply see is we lack true compassion. We would like to be able to embody this as a state. So we ask the divine through the Diksha and the oneness meditation to come in and bring that state. And you'll be shifted. And let us know, because when you actually experience true compassion, it's extraordinary. When you experience the other, it's absolutely extraordinary. So, and this helps heal your relationships so powerfully. Up until that point, it's a mind-driven concept. And so oneness is so extraordinary in that it turns the teachings and the concepts into an experience very quickly. We're not living within the teachings. The mind is not the experience. The mind is a teaching. And then oneness comes in and shifts you into a higher state to actually experience that. So I hope that helps out, Frederick. So Bruce Miller, namaste Bruce, nice to see you online. It's been a little while since I've seen you, has said, your book, Writings from the One, 108 Insights from the Divine, is a treasure. I keep it bedside and read an insight every evening. Thank you, Bruce. He always mentions my Writings from the One book, and I'm so appreciative. This was my first book, published in 2012. You can access that on juliadesmond.com. And his question is, you've mentioned your next book. I know you're very busy, but wonder when the next book will be available. Also very excited about Needle Rock. Thank you for all your seva. Well, my next book is already written. It's with my editor right now, and that reminds me I will contact her and see. But we're in the finishing phases. And I started my own publishing company, so I'll be publishing my own book. So this will be the second series in the Writings from the One, Divine Revelations from the One. So yes, I am going to India, so that kind of throws a loop into some of the projects I'm working on now, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it will be published out for the public by end of October, maybe early November. So I, of course, will let you know. Okay, so let's go up to the higher box and see. Okay, so Lynn Johnson, namaste, Lynn. Nice to see you online, has asked, I have been accessing the archived events. Yes, they hold the power of the Diksha. Excellent opportunity to get a boost when I am low. Fabulous. Yes, these archived events are chocked full with oneness consciousness. So you can access it at a later date. In fact, when I go in and watch my own archived events, I get a tremendously powerful Diksha, and it takes me into a very high state. I forget, like I'm trying to get work done, and I'll go in to access my live stream or the archived event to make sure the audio and video was good, and you know the technical aspects were good, and I get a tremendous blast of oneness consciousness. So that's why we archive them. That's why I put them on YouTube, because anybody who's watching them at a later date will be shifted into an awakened state. I mean, how fabulous that we have these tools that you just watch a YouTube video and you're shifted from a low state into a higher state of consciousness. And then you go out and you function that day in a high state. It's wonderful. So thank you, Lynn, for accessing those. Namaste, Marcia Craig. Her nickname for me is Sassy Hips, so it's wonderful to see you online, Marcia, from Chicago. Thank you for all that you do. In your last OM, you mentioned about a shift coming in September. Can you speak more about that shift and what we can do to work with the energy inflow? Thank you. Wonderful question. I did talk about a gateway that's coming to the planet the weekend of September 26th. It starts around September 23rd. It's such an exciting time frame that we're living in right now. And to be conscious about these actual portals are so valuable. And so leading up to this portal, please know a lot's happening to mankind, to yourself. A lot of transitions are happening. Look into your own journey of the past maybe 3-4 months. Anything that is not aligned with the true divine destiny for you will be transformed. So it could be a career. It could be a relationship. It could be something within the body. It could be, you know, you name it. When you look at transitions, it's a cleaning or a clearing out. And you're actually being transformed to receive all of this cosmic consciousness that is being gifted to mankind right now. And so briefly, I'm not going to get too technical, but as the planet is moving through the Photon Belt, we're very much in the thick of this Photon Belt within the universe. And this Photon Belt carries cosmic consciousness. It's in the cosmic dust, but it's higher consciousness that is coming to the planet. It's literally raining on the planet and all its inhabitants, including humans. For some people, this is very difficult because it's bringing up resistance. The self doesn't want to die. The ego doesn't want to die, especially on the planet. So when you see the collective human consciousness of the ego, of course it doesn't want to shift. And so there is absolutely resistance, and there's going to be more resistance. Well, fortunately, all of you watching the live stream, you've said yes. You show up, you receive the Diksha and the oneness meditation. This is the best way to prepare yourselves through any of this shifting that's going on. Because as our own body is shifting and lightening up in density, this is what the light is doing. It's shifting us from a lower vibration to a higher vibration. So that when we go through these gateways, where a tremendous amount of divine consciousness is coming, we can actually receive it, and it's taken very powerfully. And we've gone through so many of our own processes, in the past years or so to prepare us. So wherever you are, you're perfect, Do tap in to the spiritual side of life leading up to this. Do tap in to oneness. Give and receive Diksha. It's so valuable. If you're out there awakening people, do gather in community. It's going to be really important leading up to this portal and afterwards, especially that weekend. There are World Oneness Festivals happening all around the world that weekend. Tap in for sure. And these World Oneness Festivals are also linking in with Oneness University and the Oneness Guides and True Bhagwan. And so I'm actually going to be at Oneness University during that huge weekend portal, and I'm so excited to be there for this big cosmic divine portal. And so essentially when there is a time frame, maybe 2-3 days, when this is happening, it has to do with the position of our planets, of the solar system, where we are in the Photon Belt. This is how the portals are opened, through time and space. And yes, we do need to be prepared. But I mean that in a positive way. So we've already been prepping, and all the transitions we've gone through. And if we've received our shift of awakening, that's fabulous. That's great preparation. If we're deeply in touch with our divine and our divine destiny, then we surf this cosmic portal and we help everyone around you. And so the visualization that you can see, I'm a mystic, so I see things very visually, past events, prior events, prophetic things that are coming. And so what I see very powerfully is that we as the individual have the power to carry this divine consciousness and this higher state of consciousness. We have the power to say, yes, I want to shift every single day. And we have the power to receive this divine consciousness. But then we also must take the responsibility to bring everybody with us. And I mean energetically. So our families, our partners, our business partners, you can see it that you're on a big white horse and you're kind of the captain of the horse, and your whole community gets on the back of your horse. And the horse is so long. And as you're on the rocket ship of moving into cosmic consciousness, you bring your whole community with you. So the reason why I bring this up is it's so important not to leave your families behind. As I spoke about last week, it does make me sad when I see people so maybe even obsessive on the spiritual journey that they forget about their loved ones. This awakening journey is to bring your loved ones with you. And I'm saying energetically. So wherever they're at, just bring them with you. In your heart, karmically. If they want oneness, great. Give them Diksha. If they don't want oneness, great. Honor that, but bring them with you. Don't forget about your families, because you're here because of them. And there is such a karmic tie with you and your families and your communities. And, the spiritual communities that you're building. If you're an awakener, you're building a huge spiritual community around you. So meet in groups and in community this wonderful weekend of September 26th. If you can tap into a World Oneness Festival, definitely do that because we'll all be shifting together. And a good majority of people will be shifting into the fifth dimension that weekend. It's already happened to people. And the fifth dimension, it does not mean you're going to leave your physical body. So there's nothing to fear. It just means your consciousness is now accessing the fifth dimension. There's lots of people already living in the fifth dimension. So, and they've already had experiences of that. And I actually have already had experiences of this. And this summer it really went into high gear. So it's like a preparatory to fully reside in the fifth dimension as your body is here in the third dimension. So, like I said, those who are prepared will shift right into the fifth dimension. As your consciousness is expanding to the heavens, your body will be grounding back down to planet Earth. So it is very important to be grounded. And so I know the question is, well, what happens when someone isn't prepared for this fifth dimensional shift? Don't worry about it. There are the first waivers that must go through first. That's all I can say is help others around you, help your family to shift, bring them with you. And there are always the first waivers that go first. Remember, there are always leaders within this consciousness, evolution. And I'm saying energetically. So just know this is a time to be celebrated. And a nice population of mankind will be shifting into the fifth dimension that weekend. So it's a huge time to be celebrated. So honor nature, honor Mother Nature, honor Mother Earth, but honor your fellow human beings as well. And know that we're all in this together on this planet, and the more people that can access this fifth dimension that weekend, the better. Okay, so I think I have time for a few more questions. Namaste, Bridget. The 4 pillars, is this your term or one from Sri Amritsar Book 1? Both. My divine writes through me these divine revelations of the 4 pillars, but also Oneness University and Sri Amritsar Book 1 talk about the 4 pillars. But all of these teachings are the divine revelations that come through me. These writings from the One. But they're aligned with oneness because this is oneness consciousness flowing through me with these teachings. So good question though. The Photon Belt. What is that? Sounds interesting. Just Google the Photon Belt. It's a scientific term. So you can Google it. It's about the galaxies in the universe and the energy of the Photon Belt. But it actually is significant because the planet goes through the Photon Belt, I believe, every 26,000 years, and will be at the center of the Photon Belt every 26,000 years, which directly correlates with the Golden Ages. The great Golden Ages of enlightenment happen when mankind has access to this Photon Belt. So it actually is very interesting when we see the movement of the planet through the solar system in the Photon Belt. What is happening to mankind? Are they in a low state or a high state? And so it is very significant. The Photon Belt is gifting us with this divine consciousness or access to this cosmic consciousness as well. So Bridget has another comment, and then we'll end with that. But she has said that she had a visionary sort of futuristic dream last night about white horses flying through the sky. It was great, very joyful and positive. Wonderful. Well, this is the vision that we all keep within oneness, is the Kalki Horse. It's the white horse of enlightenment. And those of us who are the awakeners, we all have our white horse. I'm saying mystically. And so as we're riding this white horse, we also have a sword in our hand. And the sword is the slayer of the ego. And these are our tools, the white horse and the sword. And so when I was gifted with this mystically, it was a while ago, I was at Oneness University, and I received this gift, but I asked the question, well, what about my family? What about my husband? Are they going to have their own horses? And the answer that I was given was, no, they're going to be on yours. And I saw the vision of my horse being so long, miles and miles long, and my family all behind me, you know, as we're all doing this awakening journey together. So it's actually wonderful. You can keep this vision with you, with this horse, this mystical white horse, and that your whole community and your spiritual groups are getting on with you as you're journeying into this divine consciousness phenomenon. So thank you for sharing that. So Carol has asked, Namaste Carol, this is the last question. Can you describe what you experienced in your shift into the fifth dimension? I wonder if I may have been experiencing this shift a couple of times recently. Well, it's probably very accurate that other people are already experiencing that. You're accessing the other dimensions. So I don't want to get too into it. Like I said, I'm mystical. I've been mystical my whole life. I've been able to access the other dimensions. However, it was the beginning of this May, this spring, it was 1,000 times more powerful of accessing the other dimensions while being here in the physical body. And that's the only way I'm going to be able to describe it. So it's living within the multidimensional realms in your consciousness. So you're actually living a lot of lives right now. Lives, L-I-V-E-S. And they're happening in all the different dimensions. And so when we shift into a higher state of consciousness, we're actually shifted into that higher state so we can access the fifth dimension and higher while still being very residing in this physical world, this physical realm, and in your physical body. So it happened all summer long. I mean, 4 months solid. So it was great. It was fabulous. And it was just preparatory, again, to this big September gateway weekend. Yeah, so wherever you are in the journey, enjoy it. And I'm sure lots of other people have had that experience as well. So wonderful. Okay, thank you everyone for the great Awaken conversation. It's really wonderful to have these chat sessions with you all. It really raises the level of the oneness consciousness within this group, this live stream, and it's actually excellent preparation to then receive the Diksha and the oneness meditation. It takes you into an awakened state. So you can feel right now you've most likely shifted into a higher state of consciousness from just this awakened conversation, which is fabulous. And then we're now going to add the Diksha and the oneness meditation. So again, whatever you're praying for, this is your journey. So see where you are and really ask for divine guidance in your life right now to be put onto your divine destiny very powerfully and blissfully and with true guidance from the divine. So this is what the tools of the Diksha and the oneness meditation is gifting mankind. So we'll just go into a little bit of breath awareness to prep our bodies. And so we can close our eyes, lift up our shoulders, roll them back. This puts us in a good meditative posture. You can have your hands in prayer pose in front of your heart or palms face up on top of your lap. So now start to breathe in and out through your nostrils. Exhale twice as long as you inhale. So count to 3 inhale, 6 exhale. With each inhale in, visualize golden energy coming in your nostrils and circling your whole body and energizing every single cell. Each exhale, exhale that same golden energy back out to the planet. As you're continuing to breathe, bring your awareness to your heart center by placing your right hand over your heart, your left hand over your right hand. Now breathe that golden energy into your heart space and watch it expand. Take one more deep inhale, deep exhale into your heart space. Now with your breathing back to normal, keep the visualization in your heart space very powerfully. See your heart space expanded with golden light and love. Now invoke your higher source, your presence, to come join you on this journey. Ask your presence to fill you up completely with golden energy, every single cell, tissue, and fiber of your being. And now in this wonderful state of grace, we'll state our intentions in our heart for today's webcast. The first is to shift through awakening, transformation, and beyond. The second is to grow in consciousness in all 4 pillars of our life to bring balance into our life. The third is to access our divine destiny here and now for the highest benefit of the planet. And the fourth is a private intention, so speak that internally. So now release your prayers to your higher source. You have been heard. This is guaranteed. So now simply relax. I will start to give the awakened Diksha. So simply receive this divine consciousness here to gift you with the higher state. I invite all other awakened Diksha givers to now give awakened Diksha for the next few minutes intentionally. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So the Diksha Oneness blessing is still working on you. So stay deeply connected within your heart center. I will now switch over to the Oneness meditation session. When you start to hear the music, the Oneness meditation session has started. 3 minutes heart-based meditation. When the music shifts, it'll be the 21-minute Oneness meditation.